Hello everyone, I am Kim Salt, Instructional Coordinator for the Northwest School District. I would first like to thank you for joining me today for a quick explanation about the qualification process for CATs that will be taking place this school year. You may remember that the Terra Nova section is no longer a part of the Missouri Assessment Program, so we do not have that available anymore to help qualify students for CATs. The state of Missouri says we're not allowed to use the MAP scale score as the achievement piece in the qualification process because the new assessment has not been normed yet. So the program is also working under a tighter budget, which puts some restrictions on testing options. The CATS department has taken time to ensure that the qualification process will continue to identify gifted students and maintain the quality of the program. You may wonder, how do I as a teacher play a part in the qualification referral process? There are a few pieces that the CATS department needs your expertise on about your students. The steps are explained in detail here, and the resources that I mentioned will be explained in further detail later in the presentation. The first thing you will need to do is look at your students in your own class and determine any candidates in your class who fulfill the gifted profile. Use the resources that I will be mentioning later to assist you in your determination of selecting students. If you do not have any students who meet this specific criteria, you will still be asked to participate in step 2. As a PLC, further discuss the names that each of you have identified and collaboratively determine the list of students as a grade level who fulfill the criteria of a gifted child. Submit these names on one completed characteristic checklist per grade level to your principal. If your grade level determines that no students meet this criteria, your grade level needs to communicate this information on the spreadsheet to your principal. You will then receive the parent evaluation referrals for students who are moving on in the process. Please pass these out immediately to qualifying students. After the teacher evaluation is complete, parents will have the opportunity to request for their child to be tested. Those parent evaluation referrals will be available on the district website and in paper form by request for parents who want to refer their child directly. Place all the returned evaluation forms in the CATS mailbox. You may be asking yourself, how do I determine if a student is gifted? Gifted students have specific characteristics that are beyond being a high achiever, or the student who always gets the right answers. The CATS department has put together 2 resources to assist you in determining if you have a gifted child in your classroom. The first is a T-chart that provides a description of the differences between a gifted child and a high achiever. Be sure to look closely at these differences when selecting students. The second resource that you will be using is a characteristic checklist. This is the one I mentioned earlier. This is the checklist that you will be turning into your building principals, one per grade level. After you've placed the students' names on the checklist, determine which of the characteristics the students fulfill and put a check mark by each one. After you have completed this for your grade level, determine the students who fulfill the most characteristics on both T-chart and the checklist. The completed grade level checklist will be turned into your building principals for review. A few other key points to keep in mind during this selection process. To be a good candidate for success in CATS, a gifted student should be able to excel in the regular classroom if he or she misses one day each week when attending the elementary program. As a PLC or grade level team, be sure to look at where these selected students score on your grade level assessments and coursework. Do not submit names if a student has had an IQ test in the last school year or has dropped from the CATS program. If you're unsure about either of these situations, go ahead and put the student's name on the list and we can cross-check them. So what is the timeline? You will be receiving a flyer and an email letting you know of due dates and testing dates. The first priority for you is to fill out that characteristic checklist individually and then as a grade level and submit it to your building principal. What will be the next steps in the process for the students? After the evaluation referrals that you fill out have been collected and those qualifying students will move onto a group ability test. This is already scheduled and it's on a Saturday at the Valley Middle School. Students who pass the ability qualifier will then move on to the individual IQ test. Parents of these students will be notified by a letter after each step of the process. You will be receiving an email with these components and a teacher question and answer sheet that you can refer to. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your support as we make this exciting transition with the qualification process for the Center for Academically Talented Students.